In case you were absent from class or were having technical difficulties, here's the example we did 6th period. We filled in sine, cosine, and tangent so we can use this information. And we drew this lovely tower, and here's the story. Mr. Donahoe is trapped in a tower. 500 feet away is a large boulder where Miss Silva is crouching, planning a rescue. She measures the angle of elevation from the boulder to the tower window and finds it to be 8 degrees, which you see here. How long does the rope need to be to climb up the tower? Well, step 1, label your triangle with an OA and H, which I have done here. Step 2, what do you have? What do you need? We have A and we need O. So if we take a look up here, we can see that that is the tangent ratio. So we're going to use tangent to solve this. We're going to write tangent theta is 8 equals opposite x over adjacent 500. Now you may remember from the previous page that this is going to be a multiplication problem. But in case you forgot, you can always put this over 1 and just cross multiply. And we're going to get that x equals 500 times tangent 8. And again, you can just put that into your calculator without doing anything. Just 500 tan 8, no multiplication symbol. And we're going to get that it is about 70.27 feet to climb up that rope. Now, for the next one, we have a little problem about a zip line, and we're going to scooch this up. We've got an x and a y here, and depending on what you want to solve for first, we're going to do how long is the line. So we want x right here. We're going to label this triangle with an OA and an H. So go straight out. This is O, A would be down here, and H would be right there. What do you have? What do you need? We have 200, which is A, and we need X, which is H. So A and H are cosine. So cosine theta is 11 equals adjacent 200 over hypotenuse X. And down in the denominator is a division problem. I am not going to cross multiply this the whole way out. So we're going to say that x is equal to 200 divided by cosine 11. The trig ratio always goes second. It's being multiplied by or it's being divided. So when we put this into our calculator, I'll give you a second to hit pause. And the answer will be around 203.7 feet. Or is it yards? Yikes, yards. And which makes sense. It's a little bit longer than the adjacent side because the hypotenuse must be the longest side in your triangle. So for how high is the platform, this time we have A, again, don't use something that's been rounded off like the 203.7. And we have O. We need O. So O and A is going to be tangent. So I'm going to do tangent theta is 11 equals opposite y over adjacent 200. And this one is going to be a multiplication problem. So we're going to get that y is equal to 200 tan 11. Hit pause for a second and see what you get for your answer. And you should get that the platform is around 39 feet. It's like 38.87. So we're just going to say 39 feet. All right. Okay, so now to find the measure of one of the angles, what do you do when you don't know what the angles are, but you may know the sides? We're going to need to use this inverse or second or shift button on our calculator. And I'm going to go and grab a calculator. So let's go back here and check it out. We're going to try cosine theta. These have already been divided out. They're not in fraction form anymore. So you're going to just hit cosine to the -1 by hitting second cosine, and it should give you this screen. this prompt. And then you would add in 0.456 and then just hit the enter button. You don't have to close the parentheses. And when you get that, you should get, it says it wants it to 2 decimal places. I got 62.87 with a 0 behind it, so it stays the same. So for sine, you can write theta equals if you want, or you can just get me the answer. Theta is going to equal second sine, so you're going to get that. And we're going to put the 8231 in it. And this is a little more interesting. When you do this, we're going to get 55.396. This 6 is going to round it up, but don't think of rounding up the 39. Think of rounding up, don't think of rounding up the 9. Think of rounding up the 39. What's 1 up from 39? 40. So we're going to get this to be 55.40. And this is a time when you must include the 0 because we're saying that it's accurate to 2 decimal places, that this is rounding in that way. If we get back to school, I'll give us a longer explanation of why we have to include that 0. Later, right here. And we're going to see what we can do with it. So again, from our other time, these are the keys you're looking at. Now, if you take a look above the sine button, it says a little sine to the -1, which means inverse of sine. To access these blue buttons here, we have to hit the second button. So when you have sine theta equals 3/4 or something, 3/5, that's a 3, 4, 5 triangle. This isn't sine times theta. That's not what that is. You don't undo it by dividing. What you do is, this is the sine of theta. So to undo it, we have to hit this sine to the -1 button. And it's going to look like this when you hit it. And you would just put 3 divided by 5 in it. That's what theta actually equals. That's how you isolate the theta. So how do we actually solve this? Well, in this case, we have our little theta in the corner. So we're going to label this triangle with an O, A, and an H. And you're going to look at what side you have. We only have 2 sides in this case. If you have all 3 sides, go for whatever trig ratio you like the best. But here we have the O side and we have the H side. So O and H is sine. So that's what we're going to be using. So I'm going to write everything I know. Sine, I don't know theta, equals opposite 390 over hypotenuse 450. Now, you don't have to reduce or anything, but for the love of God, get rid of the zeros. Now, when you put this in your calculator, sine -139 divided by 45, that's what theta is going to be equal to. And when you do it, I want to say that this comes out to be close to, 60 degrees. So theta is around 60.07, which is about 60 degrees.